I've been John's executive assistant for 7 years when he suddenly got engaged. The heiress, Emily, clung to John's arm, pointing at me, "Fire her and we'll marry." John coldly shook her off, "Then let's call off the wedding." How do I explain I'm just a regular assistant? One who's planning to make a killing during wedding preparations anyway? That afternoon, I overheard Mike gossiping in marketing. "Have you seen the future Mrs. Wilson? Total blue blood. Olivia's pretty, but she'll never have that old money polish." I paused mid-step. Compliment Emily all you want, but why drag me? I'm just a working-class girl unless someone hands me $100 million. Then watch me sparkle. Poor Olivia. Another voice chimed in. After all these years with John, he still marries a socialite. Corporate alliances need equals. My eye twitched. Why would I care about John's marriage? If I look tired, it's from overtime, not some imaginary heartbreak. Back in my office, I chugged collagen peptides for composure before knocking on John's door with personnel files. Enter. That familiar baritone never failed to ripple down my spine. After reviewing the afternoon agenda, I presented the promotion list. Marketing underperformed. Let's just convert interns. John's fountain pen scratched approval. Mike hasn't delivered any major campaigns. I smiled sweetly. The gossip king wouldn't get promoted, better use that budget for office menstrual supplies. Lunch? John shrugged into his brioni suit. We headed to the new Italian place at the mall. The elevator stopped every floor during lunch rush, pressing me against John's silver cologne, the Creed Aventus I'd chosen. At the 5th floor, programmers shoved inside. I stumbled into John's chest as his palm cradled my head. "Next car," he growled. The crowd retreated, straightening my blouse. I met Mike's smirk. "Lunch date, Mr. Wilson?" The elevator fell silent. "Date? Please." I'm the woman who filters his intakes, drafts his speeches, and yes, selects his fiancée's anniversary gifts. Romance? I don't play in that sandbox. My battlegrounds are boardrooms, not bedrooms. John Wilson responded flatly. The elevator grew quieter. Smirk expressions simultaneously appeared on everyone's faces. "Wait. This isn't what it looks like. Let me explain. John and I attended the same university. I called him John during our collaborative projects. His academic excellence guaranteed national scholarships for our team. Joining his company after graduation followed the same logic, riding the coattails of a future IPO for stock options. Our relationship was purely transactional, reeking of capitalist pragmatism. Not a single dime's worth of romance here. The restaurant hummed with violin music as I scanned the menu. John rested his chin on folded hands, his custom-tailored black suit accentuating features handsome enough to star in romance novels minus the toxic CEO tropes. Take his easygoing nature, he never complained about my restaurant choices, happily eating whatever I ordered. Thursday specials include a couple-set meal with complimentary dessert, the waiter announced. I did quick math, the lobster thermidor alone cost nearly as much. "We'll take it." John tapped the table before I could object. The waiter plucked the menu from my fingers, replacing it with a rose vase. Panic surged John. "You're engaged." He glanced up lazily. "You said it's cost-effective. I'm not overpaying for your lobster fix." My face burned. He'd seen through my mooching scheme. Post-dinner, while plotting coffee runs, a shadow loomed over me, Emily Davis, dripping designer labels and fury. "What are you doing here? You can't afford this place." "Honestly, I can't," I admitted. "That's why I mooch executive lunches on workdays." "Couples set meal?" she screeched, spotting John at the register. The tossed rose vase barely missed my head. "Explain." "How?" "Confess I've been expense dining across town with her fiancé for 7 years?" "That's embezzlement territory." Channeling professional calm, I smiled, Mr. Wilson wanted to vet this venue first, ensuring it meets your standards. Her manicured finger jabbed at the candlelit table. Then why the romance set meal? Why else? I countered smoothly. Emily huffed after tense silence. Lucky break. If I catch you near my husband again, you're fired. I shivered. Avoiding John? I'd skip meals to keep this job. Her stiletto clicks faded, leaving me calculating survival tactics, perhaps suggesting corporate cafeteria reforms tomorrow. As a female secretary, maintaining appropriate boundaries with my male boss is crucial. I pride myself on having impeccable professional distance. Throughout these years working for John, I've never entertained any improper thoughts. I've never even touched his hand. If accidental contact occurs, I immediately stand straight and apologize. Yet Mrs. Davis insists I'm failing, so adjustments must be made. At noon, I stopped accompanying John for lunch. I ordered takeout for him daily. After a week, John remarked meaningfully post-meeting, "I don't want takeout anymore." Message received. For the next week, I scheduled all his client lunches at noon. No more takeout. Instead, John spent every midday drinking with elderly businessmen. 2 days later, he slacked me, "John, no more drinking with retirees." Perfect timing, Emily also slacked me. God knows why this socialite even uses Slack. Every morning, I'd find her creative messages demanding, "Why hasn't John taken me out yet? Is your scheming secretary self-manipulating his schedule?" Apparently managing their dates now falls under my job description. Fine. I inserted a dinner date into John's calendar, that Italian restaurant from last time. Pre-booked couples set meal with wine. After CCing John, I watched the message stay unread for hours. Near quitting time, John finally returned the calendar invite with approval. "Olivia, confirming your 6 p.m. reservation tonight." John, "The usual place?" Olivia, "Correct. 6 p.m. sharp." John, "Okay." That evening, I watched from the 19th floor office as John in his tailored suit entered the Bentley. My meddling perfectly concealed. John would be whining and dining his pretty heiress. Emily would secure her fiancé. My job stayed safe. Riding the subway home, I inexplicably fumed imagining them savoring truffle pasta and Bordeaux in that candlelit restaurant. Ugh. The evils of capitalism. At 9 p.m., John slacked, "Come work overtime." Olivia, "Sir, it's 9 p.m. Labor laws." He demonstrated how little labor laws concerned him by kicking my apartment door open. I must have been out of my mind thinking the housing subsidy was worth renting next door. John marched straight to my couch like he owned the place. Gloomily commanding, "Emergency meeting." Resigned. I opened my laptop. My recent scheduling clearly displeased him, his gorgeous peach blossom eyes burned with anger. Particularly regarding meal arrangements. "Any feedback, sir?" His left eyelid twitched on that handsome face. Actual fury. Snapping my laptop shut, I knelt penitently, "If this is about tonight's date. Mrs. Davis has been slacking me daily." John's voice turned arctic. "Why does Emily have your slack?" Not surprisingly, everyone's first reaction was the same. I wanted to know too. John took a deep breath to control his anger. "She's not the lady of the house. If you mix personal agendas into work again, you can consider yourself fired." My world tilted. I'd worked at this company for 7 years. From clueless assistant secretary to my current position, supporting him through his transition from parachuted heir to undisputed decision-maker. Even if I hadn't earned merit, there should be credit for hard work. Yet he'd fire me over his fiancée? Didn't he know how vicious Emily was? That yappy chihuahua had been snapping at me since our first meeting. Where would a single woman pushing 30 find another job? My nose stung as I grabbed a tissue. John's expression softened slightly. Last warning. He slid a takeout container across the desk. rubbing his temples. Eat. It was lobster thermidor from that fancy Italian place. I swallowed hard, shaking my head. Late-night meals ruined my complexion. His eyes turned murderous. I tearfully finished the entire portion. Corporate overlords sure are getting creative with their overtime demands. The next morning after the executive briefing, John motioned for me to stay. "You'll plan the wedding." I blinked. He wasn't joking. Awkwardly smoothing my skirt. I tried, "Wouldn't this be inappropriate? It's your private affair. It'll require PR coordination for the scale we're doing." He adjusted his gold-rimmed glasses, effortlessly transforming personal matters into corporate business. But the bride's preferences. My money. Those obsidian eyes locked onto mine. Your decisions. My protest died unspoken. Executive assistants operate in that gray area between professional and personal duties. John wasn't exactly helpless. But let's face it, I choose his meals. When he renovated his penthouse during product launch crunch time, I sourced designers and supervised the contractors. Still, weddings felt different. My chest tightened. Seriously? I haven't even dated anyone. Yet I'm organizing John and that Chihuahua's nuptials? Picture this, me running around like a headless chicken while Princess Yappy gets her white dress moment. People already whisper about me being his 7-year secret mistress. This would cement my reputation as the ultimate doormat. John. You absolute garbage human. Grinding my teeth. I opened a new spreadsheet. Timeline and budget parameters. Schedule's your call. 3 million. My fingers froze on the keyboard. Pardon? 3 million. He spun slightly in his leather throne. Holy shit. I shot up. Paced 2 frantic circles. Gulped tea with trembling hands. Then resumed professional composure. $3 million. All under my control. I've never handled such a massive project before. Weddings are such intricate affairs with endless details. With all these bidding rounds, imagine the kickbacks I could pocket. Olivia, your golden days are ahead. Let's get this done ASAP. My fingers flew across the keyboard drafting the proposal. John, I'll ensure your wedding becomes the event of the century. John literally threw me out of his office, punctuating it with a furious "get lost. Doesn't matter. He's now the closest family I have left. My own. Father. So what if he's marrying Emily? I, Olivia Taylor, am more than happy to welcome this new mother. Forget messy love triangles or dramatic showdowns. We 3 are about to become the picture-perfect family. As I feverishly typed away at the wedding plans, my phone buzzed. Emily was calling. Meet me now. Yes, Mom. I mean, coming right away. She'd chosen a café blocks away. The icy glare hit me before I even sat down. The socialite princess sat with arms crossed, looking ready to skin me alive. What can I do for you? I cautiously pulled out the chair opposite her. Emily slammed her phone on the marble tabletop. John told me last night he's calling off the wedding. Explain now. The entire cafe turned to stare. Why ask me? Shouldn't you take this up with him? My voice squeaked. Her manicured claws suddenly gripped my chin, yanking me across the table. You've been whispering in his ear, haven't you? All those fake date arrangements were just schemes to break us up. I swallowed hard, eyeing her dagger like acrylic nails. Absolutely not. Just this morning he mentioned spending $30 million to marry you. $30 million, sis. You're my one and only queen. Emily froze. I quickly extracted my face from her grasp, scooting back to safety. Seriously? She narrowed her eyes. You'd better not be lying this time. See for yourself. I flipped open my laptop to show the wedding timeline. Everything's moving forward smoothly. He's eager to make you Mrs. Wilson. And I genuinely can't wait for your big day. Her gaze turned calculating. This isn't some plot to steal my dowry and dump me afterwards. Is it? Lay off the romance novels. I muttered. With a contemptuous sniff. Emily rose from her seat. Her bodycon dress accentuating every curve. Fine. You're coming shopping with me for wedding supplies. Her Birkin bag swung menacingly as she strode out. The luxury boutique staff practically bowed when Emily entered. I need to see bridal jewelry, she declared, snapping her fingers. A sales associate materialized with leather-bound catalogs. Have a seat, Olivia. Emily removed her sunglasses, patting the velvet cushion beside her with saccharine sweetness. My thrift store-clad self nervously perched on the edge. As she flipped through diamond necklaces and ruby tiaras, resting the catalog on my knees. Emily purred. "Which piece do you think suits me best, Olivia?" From the bottom of my heart, I praised, "Everything looks perfect." "Take a closer look," Emily sneered. "After all, Olivia, not only can't you afford it, you can't even get a glimpse." "That's where you're wrong," I retorted. "I can Google it." Emily choked mid-snark. One quick search later, Google's got everything. Even the Hermes official site. Wealthy influencers generously share unboxings on Instagram and TikTok. Emily shot me a venomous glare. "Why stare? Welcome to the information age. Your working-class granny here knows her stuff." "Huh?" We bickered fiercely until the sales associate smoothly interjected, "This year's limited edition. The diamonds are exceptionally brilliant." We fell silent. Heads pressed together. Ogling the necklace stretching from collarbone to navel in the catalog. Our eyes sparkled in unison. Price? $10,068,000 after discounts. The light died in my eyes, but not in Emily's. She tapped the page with inch-long acrylics. "Got physical stock? Only the matching bracelet remains." "Bring it." Emily slid the $1 million piece onto her wrist, preening under the boutique lights while shooting me a triumphant look. I'd lost. Spectacularly. Goddamn, those diamonds were blinding. I felt fundamental virtues crumbling within me. Their radiance exposed my powerlessness. Perhaps my bitter disappointment showed too plainly. Emily's smirk widened as she randomly pointed at bedazzled stilettos. "Let me try those." The associate knelt with the shoes. Emily sprawled on the velvet couch, crossing her legs. "No. I want her to do it." Her poisonous gaze locked on me. "Olivia? You free? Seriously? Getting off on humiliating me? Think I'm some masochist?" I flipped open my laptop. Spreadsheet materializing, put them back. "We're cutting footwear from the budget." Emily gaped. "Excuse me? You blew $10 million on the necklace. With venue costs, floral arrangements, PR. Since when do I need approval for wedding shoes?" I shrugged. "Since I became wedding planner." She lunged with the Birkin bag. "All funds flow through me." I roared. "Smash that and your necklace disappears." Hesitation froze her manicured hand. Rage, shame, and defeat warred across her face. "Beg me." I sing-songed. "You'll pay for this." Emily stormed out, vowing to tattle to John, sipping the offered champagne. I slipped on the discarded heels. Stunning. Maybe I'll skim enough from the circus to buy my own pair. Exiting the boutique, my phone buzzed. John's name flashed, that bastard responsible for this mess. His voice could curdle milk. "Where are you?" "Securing wedding essentials." His icy tone dropped further. "You left work unannounced." "Right." The CEO was also my boss. "Wedding errands." "Soon." His champagne Bentley glided through traffic. The diamond bracelet's ghost still glittered behind my eyelids. 10 million, enough to feed a village for years. My fingers tightened around the laptop bag. Let the games begin. Settling into the passenger seat, I studied John's expression. Completely unreadable. Clearly, Emily didn't perform her dramatic antics around him like she did with me. John's gaze lingered. "What did you get?" "Jewelry." His eyebrows lifted slightly. "What kind?" "Hermes diamond set. $10,680,000.10. John's composure cracked, but the alpha billionaire quickly recovered, rolling down his window to mutter through clenched teeth, "If you like it, keep it." I silently picked lint off my trench coat. "Different worlds. Dinner? Not hungry." "Spent all afternoon dropping 7 figures and you're sulking?" he teased. She made me kneel to put shoes on her. My glare could have melted steel. John turned the ignition up. "There's a charity gala Thursday. Check the guest list later. We'll need to sort gifts from the collection at my place." I slumped deeper into the leather seat. "Rich girl gets necklaces. I get overtime. Life's unfair. By the time we reached his penthouse, I'd melted into his Italian sofa, watched him simmer beef and tomato stew in the kitchen, ate 2 bowls anyway. Dealing with his wife counted as workplace hazard. Refueled, I trudged to the basement. Storage. 7 years as his executive assistant taught me corporate rules are just suggestions. Real business happens through favors. My job: catalog every gifted Rolex, Bordeaux wine crate, and black market truffle, then match each bribe to its intended recipient. John leaned against the doorframe, watching me rummage through drawers and fuzzy slippers. My hand froze on 2 familiar jars. Since when do you stock La Mer creams? He coughed into his fist. Take them. You've looked like death warmed over since Q3 earnings. The bastard couldn't give a compliment without barbed wire, only the take them part mattered. Why do people keep sending you makeup? I held up this year's haul: foundation, lipsticks, cleansing balms. John's jaw tightened. What do you think? Secret cross-dressing hobby? He looked ready to strangle me. Olivia, I swear to God, whatever, kill me, this job's killing me anyway. The doorbell rang as we argued over which senator preferred Scotch versus Cuban cigars. The doorbell chimed with Emily's saccharine voice. John, I brought freshly baked cupcakes. Her tone instantly gave me goosebumps. Who knew Emily had such duality? Gesturing upstairs, then the storage room, I whispered urgently to John, you go first, I'll hide here. Since when did you enjoy playing burglar? He teased. I clamped my hand over his mouth. If she sees us, I won't be able to clear my name. Clear what? John's obsidian eyes locked onto mine, his voice dropping to that midnight radio host timbre. My palm tingled where his breath grazed it, damp and electric. Snapping to attention, I hid my hands behind my back. You know how it is. I don't. His lips quirked. Weren't you here to pick gifts? Why so jumpy? He wet his lips. Unless you're having improper thoughts. I smothered his mouth again. I'll stitch these lips shut with nearby thread. Seriously, can't you hear your wife upstairs calling for cupcake time? John shot me an amused glare before wrenching free. Come upstairs, he tossed over his shoulder, heading for the door. I stayed rooted. I wasn't stupid. One daily showdown with Emily sufficed. 2 encounters would shave years off my lifespan. My brilliant plan to wait out their conversation in the basement failed spectacularly. Emily barged past John the moment he opened the door. Why'd you take so long? Hiding someone? Her footsteps clattered through upstairs rooms like TSA inspection. What do you want? John's irritation surfaced. The man valued his privacy fiercely, barely tolerating cleaners unless he was out. Now Emily's invasive surge clearly grated him. I told you, delivering cupcakes. Her voice floated down. The new bakery at Silver Plaza had huge lines, but I waited just for you. Then leave. Why the scavenger hunt? Panicking at approaching footsteps, I scanned the vaulted tea room. No hiding spots in the 15-foot minimalist space. Emily appeared at the stairhead, shrieking, Olivia! You scheming bitch! John! Why is she here? John's jaw tightened. What did you call her? Repeat that. Emily retreated 2 steps. Defiance warring with fear. John. Explain Olivia's presence. As their voices rose, I sidled past clutching La Mer jars. Pardon me, just working late. You work at your boss's home now? Emily screeched like a boiling kettle. Where's your shame? And what's with the skincare? Don't think I'm blind. The luxury creams did look suspicious without shopping bags. I hid them behind my back. My boyfriend's gift. Jealous? You have a boyfriend? John swore colorfully. That boyfriend's you. Isn't he? Emily's scream hit glass-shattering frequencies. Chaos erupted like spilled alphabet soup. John! Throw this hussy out. I won't tolerate her here. Emily lunged with a slap. John intercepted, shielding me. Watch your mouth. She designed this place from scratch, comes and goes as she pleases. Who are you to barge in ranting? Who am I? Tears brimmed in Emily's eyes. Your fiancé. John snorted. Since when? You'd choose this tramp over me? Veins throbbed at John's temple. Yet he smiled icily. Seems you'll never learn proper address. Will you? He rolled up his sleeves and opened the wall cabinet beside him. I knew he was truly furious now, so I quickly made myself scarce. Maybe you two should sort this out. I've got things to attend to at home. But the weapon he grabbed next made my knees buckle. He pulled out a riding crop. Emily. John pushed up his glasses with a gentle smile. I've always treated you like a little sister since we were kids. But I've loved you since childhood. Do you interrupt your elders whenever you please? John slammed the riding crop against the cabinet, advancing step by step. No manners? No problem. Big brother will teach you proper speech today. He removed his glasses and raised the crop. My brain short-circuited. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Emily stood frozen. This pampered heiress completely unprepared for such brutality. She screamed and lunged toward me. Help. Gritting my teeth, I shielded her behind me. Mr. Wilson. This counts as domestic violence. John seemed determined to break the law. Get out here. Emily. Let me whip that smart mouth of yours. Olivia. Look. He's hitting me. Emily clung to me wailing. Well now. You can address people properly after all. John coldly loosened his tie. Let's settle accounts tonight instead of dragging this out daily. The two began circling me like predators. What could I do? Mediate. Obviously. It's midnight. You can't discipline children this late. Let it go. This is all you're spoiling anyway. John looked genuinely tempted to thrash her. Domestic violence is illegal. Emily's mascara ran rivers behind me. It always starts with once. He barked a humorless laugh. Exactly. So be smart and call off the engagement. Never. Emily's defiance could bend steel right before she bolted. John's rage reached nuclear levels as he gave chase. She ran. He pursued. Seeing her trapped, I tackled John from behind, locking arms around his waist. Stop. You'll seriously hurt her. He stiffened, then stilled in my embrace. As Emily reached the grand entrance, John snapped, "Leave the cake." Sobbing hysterically, Emily deposited the dessert on the entryway table. You'll pay for this. John. The mansion shook with her slammed exit. Silence pooled around us. After endless moments, I exhaled. Close call. I'd braced for round 2 with Emily, but John had gone full berserker mode, completely obliterating her defenses. Damn. The furious man in my arms gradually softened. A large hand settled on my head, ruffling my hair tenderly. Don't be upset. Huh? No one gets to speak to you like that. His gaze warmed as he looked down. Oh. Emily's earlier verbal assault had left me stifled, this heavy, inarticulate ache. But watching John weaponize righteous anger left no room for self-pity. Honestly? Kinda hilarious. My lips twitched upward, meeting his dark obsidian eyes. That handsome face regarded me with playful irony. His own mouth curving. Enjoy the show? John turned and leaned against the bar counter, pulling my hand into his embrace. Am I that comfortable to hug? You won't let go? I immediately jerked back and stood straight, shaking my head vigorously. Sorry. Won't happen again. He raised an eyebrow quizzically. Known you for almost a decade. Who'd have thought you'd resort to violence? My strained smile cracked as he stated flatly. I don't hit my wife. Snatching Emily's cake, he shoved it into my mouth. Dark eyes locked on mine. I treat my wife exceptionally well. Lying in bed, my heart still fluttered. His words echoed, I treat my wife exceptionally well, along with the intensity in his gaze that felt directed at me. My phone lit up with a text from Mom demanding my brother's medication money. Transferring $3,280 on the 5th as usual. Our chat history scrolled past, mostly transactions. Sparse conversations. Reality doused all romantic illusions like ice water. John had never said he liked me. He always frowned at me, spoke with sarcasm, and drowned me in overtime work. Our relationship? Purely transactional. If he'd wanted anything romantic, wouldn't it have happened in 10 years? Rich heirs like him would always have an Emily, a Sarah, or a Jessica waiting to marry, fairy tales for the wealthy, while ordinary folks like me just watched from the sidelines. Poverty was our only guaranteed co-star. At work, Emily's Slack messages turned frosty post-confrontation. Daily check-ins consisted solely of, is John in today? My ascended conversations. She'd shifted her antics offline, buying a viral hot search trend announcing their engagement. Mike finally got his PR crisis, practically bouncing from John's office to mine. Olivia! What? The boss wants a statement denying mess. Davis engagement claims. His eyebrows wiggled like a gossip monger. Noted. He mentioned that. Mike plopped down, chin propped on interlaced fingers. He also said he's been dating someone for 7 years, madly in love. I've never heard of that. Sounds fake. Like some made-up story. I'm just being honest. Mike wiggled his eyebrows creepily. Oh really? I sighed. Stop staring at me, it's definitely not me. If I were Emily, why would I bother working here? And I don't think it's anyone else either. If he'd had a girlfriend for 7 years, that would have started back in college. No way I wouldn't know. He's clearly lying about having a wife. Total nonsense. Mike suddenly froze, staring wide-eyed behind me. I swallowed hard and turned. John stood there with a murderous glare. I quickly spun back to my desk, pretending to type furiously. No excuse could save me now that the boss had caught me gossiping. John said nothing, storming into his office and slamming the door hard enough to rattle the glass walls. He didn't discuss dinner plans. No updates on work. I finally messaged him myself to ask about tomorrow's schedule. Out of town meetings. He replied tersely. I sent a thumbs up. He left it on read. So petty. All I said was he's single. Not like his imaginary wife even exists, though if she's based on my life story. He owes me royalties. I scrolled through our chat history. Pathetically short. Day 1 without John. Emily pinged me on Slack, you there? We'd reached a strange rhythm. She didn't bother with full sentences anymore, just you there? Like some bot. Looking at our chat logs. You'd never guess she was the heiress who saw me as her love rival. She came off more like a desperate guy sliding into DMs. I glanced at John's dark, empty office. Nope. Worst reply ever. Within hours, Emily marched into the office dressed like a villain from a soap opera, all-black outfit. Sharp winged eyeliner. Blood-red lips screaming I've gone full dark side. She kicked open my glass-walled office door. Olivia! You're fired. The entire floor froze. Colleagues abandoned spreadsheets to gawk. Mike even started live streaming on his phone, narrating like a sports commentator. I massaged my temples. Miss Davis. You can't just. I'm Mrs. Wilson now. She yanked me out of my chair. John doesn't need you. Get out. Termination requires 2 months' notice and severance under labor laws. She threw a black card at my feet. Take $1 million and disappear. My traitorous heart skipped a beat. But factoring in my salary, benefits, and how I'd never land another job this good, make it $17 million. You greedy. Her snarl cut off as she lunged. I dodged faster than a dog avoiding bath time. She couldn't reach me, so she went berserk and smashed everything on my desk onto the floor. The colleagues finally stopped spectating and rushed out to shield me while confronting Emily. How dare you hit someone? She's stealing my husband. What's wrong with slapping her? Should I wait for an auspicious day? I'm being merciful, not clawing her face off. Emily jabbed her finger at my nose defiantly. Olivia. Have you no shame? You knew he was engaged yet kept clinging to him. Selling your dignity for money. Wrecking families. How despicable can you get? I can endure any workplace humiliation, but insulting my professionalism crosses the line. I pushed aside Mike shielding me. Ms. Davis. If your fiancé can have female staff, chain him at home. Even without a secretary, he'd still interact with female colleagues and clients. Should you faint screaming at every woman he meets? Ha! You're nothing like them. Emily sneered. They don't cling to him demanding favors, paw at his wallet, or sleep over at his place past midnight. Trembling with rage, I clenched my fists until nails bit into my palms under everyone's stunned gazes. As his secretary, I do deliver documents to his residence and manage project funds. That's literally my job description. My voice shook. If the CEO gave me bonuses, it's because I earned them. Security. Where are you? How dare you lay hands on me? Emily looked incredulous as guards restrained her. Corporate access requires authorization. Stop letting randoms wander in. But a guard glanced nervously at Emily. This is a workplace. Only employees belong here, no exceptions. Understood? Sir. Yes, sir. The head guard snapped upright. Emily writhed. Olivia. You power-tripping by. Legal. I cut through her screeching. Here. Junior Associate Jiang raised his hand. MS. Davis caused property damage during her tantrum. Jiang's fingers flew across his laptop. Compensation required. Plus penalties for business disruption. Sue her. I said coldly. This is outrageous. Since when do companies protect homewreckers? Emily suddenly broke free and swung at me. Her wrist was caught midair. The man behind her wore a rumpled black suit. White shirt collar askew from running. His mere presence extinguished the chaos like water dousing flames. My nose stung inexplicably. Jiang. Add defamation to the lawsuit, publicly slandering the mess. Taylor with false accusations. John's voice held steel. Jiang hesitated. Sir. Defamation requires personal litigation. We can't handle employee reputation cases. We handle it now. John's gaze locked with mine across the room. Emily's eyes reddened. I'm your fiancée. Yet you only protect her. John flung her hand away with a derisive snort. My engagement party didn't bother inviting me. I learned about it through Mike's social media. You call that a fiancé? The crowd erupted in gasps. I barely registered the aftermath. Next thing I knew, I was sobbing in John's office. Tears soaking his tissue box as he sat beside me. Don't cry, he murmured, sliding over hot cocoa. I'm not. I know. I worked so hard, got promotions, through overtime. You're the most dedicated person here. But now everyone thinks I slept my way up. I wailed. They think I'm just your mistress? His arms enveloped me. People see your contributions. They know better. Really? His chest vibrated with soft laughter. Besides, you're no mistress. Maybe it was his cedarwood cologne or the comforting embrace. But my breathing steadied. 10 minutes later, as post-cry clarity hit, I froze. Wait. Why was I clinging to John like a koala? I quickly pushed him away. Emily had just made a scene here. My reputation was hanging by a thread. I'd just sworn to the heavens that Olivia was completely innocent, only to be caught embracing John moments later. If this went to court, even the best lawyer couldn't guarantee a win. There's nothing between us. John stared intently at me. And there's nothing between us either. Shouldn't we maintain some boundaries as two single people? I turned to leave, fingertips brushing the doorknob. I don't want to get dragged into your personal affairs again. His arm shot past my shoulder, slamming the door shut with a bang. I'm sorry. His warm breath made me shiver slightly. Has she been harassing you behind my back? This won't happen again. Isn't getting harassed part of the secretary job description? I retorted bitterly. Her family's wealthy. Our parents arranged this marriage without my consent during the company's cash flow crisis. I never showed up. I froze, turning to face him properly. John's eyes were rimmed red, strands of hair falling across his forehead, making him look unexpectedly vulnerable. So you're being forced into this? MHM. He lowered his lashes like some helpless victim. You should have told me sooner. I've been treating Emily like royalty. You never asked. The accusation stung. Everyone knew except you. His gaze lifted, full of wounded accusation. You never cared to ask. Later that night, I scrolled through Mike's social media. John's engagement announcement still sat there grandiose and fairy tale perfect. I'd glimpsed it months ago, felt that familiar pang, and swiped away instantly. Not my business. None of my concern. Couldn't bear to look. Now. I calmly surveyed the endless congratulations below the post. And amidst the sea of well wishes, one furious reply stood out. John Wilson, you attended? I didn't. Mike, seriously. Mr. Wilson? John Wilson, no. Opposing feudal arranged marriages. The comment chain had morphed into solidarity protests. I covered my mouth, laughter escaping through my fingers. Of course everyone knew. Except me. Somewhere along the way, I'd started avoiding any news about John's personal life. We commuted together daily, yet existed in separate worlds. I knew this young, handsome billionaire CEO would eventually belong to someone. Sooner or later. Never me. So why bother? Caring only bred heartache. No curiosity. No discussions. No involvement. Not even glances. I'd built my own isolation chamber. This was the distance I maintained, no expectations. No disappointments. Though come to think of it, John had never actually given me reason to feel disappointed. My cheeks burned as I scratched my neck absently. Who in their right mind scrolls through social media these serious days? The ringing phone snapped me out of my blushing daydream. It was Mom. Olivia. Come home immediately. Your brother's in the hospital. The flicker of joy I'd felt moments ago evaporated. I delegated all work to my assistant that same day, approved my own leave, and boarded the train home to rural Hubei. My brother's kidneys failed years ago from bad injections, can't do heavy labor. Constant medical bills. We were poor. Almost didn't afford college. They wanted to marry me off at 18. Through student loans, scholarships, and working 3 jobs. I clawed my way to a degree and city job, my version of turning life around. But now I've hit the glass ceiling. Can't afford apartment, car, wedding, not even a dog. My greatest achievement is someone else's starting line. Like that meme, Selena at work, country girl at home. That's me. After 8 hours rattling to the county town and crashing at a motel, I took the morning bus home. Our family's considered well off here. I sent them $40,000 years back. They hand-built a 3-story house. Literally. With their bare hands. Mom was chasing chickens in the yard when I arrived. Not exactly ICU emergency behavior. You're back, she said casually. Where's brother? Same as ever. Upstairs. I spun to leave. You dragged me here for this? She wiped her hands on the apron. Found you a husband. I choked. I rode all night for this? You're almost 30, she said. That special maternal knife twisting. This match is perfect. City boy returned home. Handsome. Healthy. Yeah, right. But the whole village came to gawk. With unused vacation days and office shame burning, I stayed. Next morning, a man lounged in our yard, 6 feet 2 inches tall. Bleach blonde undercut. Black single earring. More stylish than my pajama-clad, toothbrush-dangling self. Couldn't bother dressing up. Mom nagged him through rice cheeks. He turned. Almond eyes. Straight nose. That pampered languor in his gaze. We exchanged names. John Wilson. Ivy League grad. Ex-tech worker who nearly coded himself to death. Now starting an organic farm on 50 acres. As we walked through fields, Mom hissed, demand $40,000 dowry. Minimum. I shook her off. Let's see how fast I can ditch this city boy, due to his striking looks and focus on rural themes with beautifully shot videos. He's been dubbed the male version of a farm lifestyle influencer. He shook my hand. I'm Lucas White. You really know how to ride trends. Don't you? Luke showed me around his farmland. asking if I'd consider returning to work with him. The village only had elders and kids left. He'd heard about my impressive resume and wanted to recruit this hometown talent for his venture. My mother immediately misinterpreted this as dowry negotiations. Money wasn't the issue. Working outdoors beat city cubicles. Offering more freedom. As a top streamer, Luke had funds to spare. These days, traditional industries struggled while internet content creation thrived. Staring at the endless green fields, John's face flashed through my mind, his serious demeanor, charming poise, sarcastic remarks, and those focused, tender gazes. The countryside offered fresh air, singing birds, and blooming flowers. The city meant exorbitant costs, subway crowds, and endless overtime in cramped offices. But he was there. He was in that concrete jungle. My job's decent. I scuffed the dirt with my shoe. My boss is my alumnus. Brilliant guy. Brilliant enough to make you work 9 to 9. 6 days a week? Luke's knowing look pierced through me. Get to work. I waved him off. Since I was here anyway, I might as well help harvest the ripe corn. My phone rang mid-harvest. Mom. I declined. She persisted until the third call forced me to answer with a sharp "What?" Your man's here. Her voice trembled with awe. Where are you and Luke? Hide. Quick. What? You didn't tell him I'm married? I'm trying to set you up and this happens. Her rambling continued. The son-in-law's no good anyway. Terrible temper. My chest tightened. What did you tell him? I said you were on a date with Luke. He stormed out. Looks ready to skin you alive. The phone dropped. Through the corn stalks, I spotted John charging across the fields in his black suit. I dove deeper into the crops. Out. Now. I burrowed further. You're holding a knife. His reminder made me peek through the leaves with one eye. Scared. Huh? John sneered. So you're really dating some streamer boy? Quitting? And no. I'll never approve. Forget it. He yanked me from the foliage, his grip burning. I struggled pointlessly against his iron hold. The blazing sun stung my eyes as he dragged me closer. Olivia. His voice roughened. You know how I feel about you. Don't pretend otherwise. You're an excellent boss. My throat constricted. The corn leaves rustled around us, bearing witness to the tension crackling hotter than the midday heat. I'm not your boss. His eyes burned red. 7 years. 2,847 days. 3 meals a day. For seasons, you don't get to call me that. 2,847 days. Has it really been that long? His palm cupped my cheek, thumb brushing away tears. All these years. Tell me you never spent a single second thinking about me. Not one. My lips parted. Forgotten memories surged to life, library study sessions with our sleeves brushing. Him mixing dipping sauce for my hot pot during celebration dinners. Sunlight through office blinds gilding his brow on my first day at the new company. Ancient history. When we were young. When he was the golden heir. And I carried nothing but student debt. Of course I'd thought about him. But, John. My voice broke. I couldn't afford to. Your sobs racked me. You're everything. I'm nothing. John Wilson, even his name gleamed like polished silver. Born with diamond-cut advantages. Excelling effortlessly. I'd nearly killed myself reaching his city, only to find his world existed in stratospheres I couldn't fathom. The year he started attending CEO summits, I fretted over rent, my brother's medical bills, whether my discount blouse looked professional enough. No time for love. No energy for longing. He stepped closer. You thought this way 7 years ago. Still now? After I've carried us both for years. You won't grow an inch? His jaw clenched. I've walked 99 steps alone. Olivia. 7 years of holding steady. Can't you take one step? Half step? You've never lacked courage, why hoard it from me? The wind stilled. My mind went blank. Screw logic, my proud, perfect John was crying. Two shadows merged as I crashed into his arms. Later, John insisted on helping harvest corn to prove we weren't so different. He nicked his finger. I snorted. Not so invincible after all. Laughing, he thrust his hand at me. This needs blowing. And pampering. My big baby. I grinned. His glare held theatrical outrage. Edges softening with something dangerously close to a pout. As soon as I entered, John stubbornly pressed closer to cling to me. The sun beat down fiercely. My entire body slick with sweat. Yet he kept nuzzling against me. Suddenly, all those boundaries I'd been so careful to maintain dissolved into nothingness amidst this intimacy. How did you track me down? I asked, leading him down the familiar dirt path of my hometown. You stopped showing up at work. Ignored Slack. I thought you'd rage quit. His aristocratic features carried faint melancholy. He said I appeared easygoing but had hidden pride. Why else would I keep him at arm's length all these years? Emily had been spreading rumors. And he feared I'd disappear forever. Not exactly, I admitted. I did want to hide for a while. But I'd never abandon everything. Not when you're there. He arched a razor-sharp glance my way. 14 hours on the train for this grand surprise? Blind dates are all sham anyway. My mom tricked me into coming. The guy wasn't even interested. What about you? John's grip tightened painfully around my wrist. No. I intertwined our fingers firmly. After seeing you, there's never been anyone else. My voice wavered. I'm cowardly. If you hadn't come for me, I'd have carried this quiet longing to my grave. It's lingered so long. Even I can't tell what's real anymore. I just want to stay in this tangible dream. John's thumb brushed my knuckles. Only someone like me, blazingly obvious, would rip through the pretense. Enough about me. What nonsense did you feed my mom? She looked terrified. Nothing. He stubbornly turned his face away. Earlobes flushing. Just called her mom when I walked in. We left that same night. My mother disliked John. Preferring Luke White, who owned the general store, she thought John had terrible temper. When I mentioned he's my CEO, her attitude flipped. Immediately, she demanded he buy my brother a condo in the county seat as marriage prerequisite. Trembling with rage, I nearly overturned the tea table. John restrained me smoothly. I can't make that decision, Mrs. Taylor. He lounged on our battered sofa, all boardroom authority as his long fingers tapped the formica. Olivia handles our finances. You'll need to negotiate with her. My mother's suspicious gaze gained newfound reverence. During our departure, I exhaled deeply. I love my hometown, yet can never return. Most people have family, but not necessarily love. Mine didn't abandon me at birth, but I've always known their affection was sparse. I sprouted like weeds in cracked earth, surviving storms no one sheltered me from. Except, I studied our joined hands, his fingers sturdy and warm against mine. Doesn't matter now. John slid a diamond band onto my ring finger. I'm your family. Confident much? 7 years. Olivia. Time to stop rejecting me. He patted the Porsche steering wheel. Drove this here to save your face. I showed him my mother's latest text. They don't know Porsche. Ask if you're some scammer renting fancy cars. After returning, I took a week's leave. Let the office descend into chaos. Let colleagues beg via Slack. Then strolled back in heels sharp enough to draw blood. Let the facts speak. Olivia Taylor's promotions? Earned through grit. When people talk about secretaries, they often associate the profession with inappropriate relationships and look down on it. Truth is, I make 50% of the company's decisions. The same goes for other female executives' assistants. Whenever leadership is swamped or wants to slack off, secretaries and assistants become the de facto decision-makers. After 7 years handling corporate affairs in this office, even a pig like me becomes someone of importance. Looking at John's achievements, the only area where I, Olivia from humble beginnings, can't compete is his inherited connections. But everything else? I'm just as capable. Returning to the office meant diving straight into overtime. Our cash flow issues stemmed from John's new product line burning through capital. Don't let his tycoon appearance fool you. Our company produces those ubiquitous snacks you find in every corner store nationwide. Zero technical complexity, countless knockoffs, yet perpetually bestsellers. John wasn't content with the status quo. His premium product ambitions would have been manageable if Emily hadn't caused shareholder withdrawals with her romantic antics. John's scramble to buy back equity strained our liquidity. I saw opportunity in this crisis. During the emergency funding meeting, I pitched my idea, since Emily's wealthy and obsessed with Mr. Wilson. Are you trying to sell me to her? John tensed like a cornered animal, muscles quailing. Of course not. But provoking her might yield favorable results. That night, I posted our hand-holding photo with matching engagement rings on social media. Predictably, John trended on Twitter next morning as public enemy number 1. Genius! Absolute genius! Mike coordinated with countless influencers in the war room. Any publicity is good publicity. We'll ride this wave for product launches. John's product development brilliance had already laid groundwork from flavor profiles to packaging. We just needed the spark. While Emily kept roasting John for 3 straight days, we flooded influencers with new samples. The conversation shifted dramatically from John the Heartbreaker to Wilson's new drink tastes like liquid damnation. With that viral momentum, investors lined up at our door. Case closed. Emily deserves our thanks. Prepare your promotion, John told Mike. Then added pointedly, after you handle the crucial task. Mike blinked. Huh? Mr. Wilson? What's left? John glanced at me. Scrub all traces about Olivia's past. Though Emily tried exposing me repeatedly, John kept paying for takedowns. His stance was clear: attack me all you want, but leave my wife alone. Like how he never introduced me to his parents. Why bother? He'd say. They didn't raise you. Attend their funerals when the time comes, that's obligation enough. The Wilsons stayed silent throughout the drama. John's rare family visits always ended in slammed doors. They won't accept you anytime soon. Confident I'll marry you? I teased. We haven't even dated. Skip the courtship. 7 years. Olivia. I'm pushing 30. He nuzzled my hand against his cheek, mirroring the boy I'd secretly loved since college days. Speaking of which, how's wedding planning? Design bids are finalized. Olivia, you won't be handling this project anymore. Our wedding budget is set at $3 million, not a penny less. I know you'd try to slash it to 2 if I let you. Am I really that kind of person in your eyes? My voice cracked. Besides, since when does the bride plan her own wedding? He captured my lips in that infuriatingly gentle way of his. I'll handle the wedding, John murmured against my mouth. And I'm entrusting you with. The bitter laugh escaped before I could stop it. When you're poor, wanting something, well, you learn not to want. The fire in John's eyes froze mid-blaze. In that crystalline moment, the truth sliced through him: his girl wasn't heartless. Just too busy surviving to spare energy for love. He'd considered letting go. The image of decades stretching before him without my chaotic presence had haunted countless sleepless nights. Yet here he stood, 3 years after quietly surrendering to his family's demands and taking over Wilson Industries. The campus recruitment posters still smelled of fresh ink when they flooded our alma mater. Wilson offered salaries that made competitors blanch. Hundreds applied. Written exams, panel interviews, psych evaluations. The gauntlet left only one survivor. My knuckles hovered before the CEO's mahogany door. Freshly printed ID badge dangling from a lanyard. The John Wilson who swiveled in his leather throne wore a smirk I'd last seen staining library study carols. You. The recognition burst from me like uncorked champagne. Me, his sigh carried the weight of 3 years strategic planning. Always me. The Wilson Tower elevators still pinged at 7:03 p.m. each evening when he'd materialize at my cubicle, tie loosened and spreadsheets forgotten. Hungry? He'd ask. As if we were still sharing instant noodles in dorm 307. My promotion to executive assistant came with a corner office and whispered rumors. Sleeping her way up, they hissed between marble columns. John responded by tripling my workload and having his public appearances with me. The Diamond Solitaire arrived on a Tuesday, nestled between quarterly reports. $0.3 million buys spectacular fireworks, his note read. But I'd trade every cent for 5 more minutes in that broken elevator where you first called me claustrophobic rich boy. I wore the ring during budget meetings and let the stone catch light when old money investors condescended. Let them stare, every facet reflected the truth. This poverty-stricken girl had bankrupted the most eligible bachelor on the eastern seaboard.